Hi there and welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. Today it is day 3 of the 30 days of 30-minute workouts, and as being that day 2 is a nice regenerative recovery row, that means that today we're going for a good old fast max intensity workout. So how we're going to do this half hour is we're going to do 2 minutes at a nice soft pace followed by 1 minute at pretty much max. So what I'm really thinking is that soft pace you're going to be around about 2k plus 30-ish, so really kind of backing off, and then that max pace I want you to try and see about getting the stroke rate up and get kind of around about 2k minus 5 or better if you can. Okay, so this is about those 1 minute sprints, and then the 2 minutes is just about recovery. Okay. And so the reason that we're starting on the 2 minutes soft is just to let you run into that first minute so you're not hitting the ground running after only the 4 minute warm up, okay? Because I want to make sure you're nice and warm and greased, ready for that first minute to go hard. And then it also means that you'll finish the 30 minutes on a 1 minute fast interval row, basically, is what I'm saying, a period. Now, as always, what I'm doing here is as far as the ErgZone program is concerned, I'm just leaving this as a 30-minute full-on chunk so that you can then rank that if you wish to at the end. So you'll see on screen up at the top, I've got the 4 minute warm-up and then I've got a 30-minute solid row, and you just have to remember that you go 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 minute all the way through. Then there's a 2 minute cool down. Feel free to program ErgZone however you wish. Just because of how I've done it here doesn't mean that you can't then program it the way you want to, but this is the best way to get it done in case anybody wants to have the full, just solid half hour that they can then rank at the end, okay? I hope that's okay with you. Super. Right, let's get into our 4 minute warm up then. And as always, we set up our machine first. So go to your drag factor and set that where you want it to be. If you don't know about drag factor, please check out the video on this YouTube channel. Or I set mine to run about 120, 125 if you want a guide. Now, if you don't use the Concept 2, just set your resistance to a point where you get a good old feeling from the stroke, but it doesn't feel as though you have to heave against it, okay? You must let your power come from your legs and not having to yank with your upper body. Next up, go to your monitor and set it to eye height if you can, because not all machines let you. And finally, again, if you're able to adjust the stretcher height for your feet, the foot stretcher height, sorry, then kind of ideally you want the straps to cover the balls of your feet as a starting point, but what you want is to be able to come to the front of the machine with your shins pointing vertically. And if you're set too high, you might not quite be able to get there. And if you're set too low, you might find you go flying straight past that vertical position, and that can cause hyperextension and whatever. If nothing else, you'll lose power. So anyway, 4 minute warm up, and we're going to do this at 18 strokes a minute. And you're going to start off, the power is just going to be enough so that you can think about the power coming from your feet and the timing of your hands connecting to the handle. Okay, right. Here we go then. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So it's almost just like a body weight squat, as though you were just standing up off the ground. Just that amount of power. And that way you can think about the timing between pushing with your feet, after all that's where all your power comes from, and then your hands connecting to the handle, because after all that power from your legs has to get into the machine somehow. If you push your feet before the handle connects, what happens is your backside scoots away from you and you lose a whole bunch of power, and you have to take over with your upper body. If you grab too soon, you just can't quite get that power in from your legs. You don't have that surging connection through your body again. So try and push with your feet, connect with your hands at the same time. And then start increasing the pace a bit. Keep your stroke rate down, but just add more of a push from your feet so that you get close to 2k plus 20 pace. Now your 2k pace is worked out by rowing a 2 kilometer time trial and dividing the resulting time by 4 to give your average 500 meter pace, and that's your 2k pace. So when I say 2k plus 20, you just go 20 seconds slower. If that's a bit quick, the video description has a fuller guide on how to work out your 2k pace. Right, one more stroke. And let's put one foot on the ground, carry on rowing. Try not to lose balance or adjust your technique too much here. You'll drop a few seconds pace obviously, but if you can avoid over leaning at the front or wobbling to the side, that's advisable. Swap feet, continue rowing. It's always interesting to look here and see if there's a difference in pace between one leg and the other. But as long as you're not like 10 seconds different, if it's only 2 or 3 seconds, it's okay. But anything larger could be a muscle imbalance between your legs. Okay, both feet in, legs straight, row with your back and arms. So you swing over your hips with your back, and then you pull in your arms. Then you release your arms and swing back over your hips again. This is a vital part of the rowing stroke, is that your back goes first, and then your arms. So you go legs, back, arms. Okay, one more here. Let's roll to the front with straight arms and a forward lean, and push with the legs. So this is the legs element of legs, back, arms. You'll notice if you run the two of these together, you'd go legs, and then you'd swing over your back, then you'd pull in your arms. That's basically the foundation of the stroke. But I want you to practice holding this forward lean and straight arms as you push with your legs. That's the point of that drill. Right, just noticed my microphone cable's hanging out the front of my t-shirt. How embarrassing. Excuse me a sec. Of course now it'll just trail underneath me and I'll end up sitting on it. Right, have a quick drink. And we'll just get ready for the main session. Hang on, I will cover the mic. Normally when I make these and I go into post-production afterwards, I dip the sound as I take a drink. Don't get to do that today. Sorry, my shorts are now binding up on me. Good grief. This is why I had post-production at the end rather than doing these as live. But like I said before, the reason I'm doing these as live is because I just can't get these edited one day at a time if I don't do them this way. So apologies for the ramshackle approach, but it's the rowing that matters, not what's on the screen. So just to recap then, what we're doing today is going to do 2 minutes soft, 1 minute hard, 2 minutes soft, 1 minute hard, over and over again for the 30 minutes. Now those 2 minutes soft, you're going to do around about 2k plus 30. Maybe the first one you want to increase the pace a little bit just to kind of continue at around about 2k plus 20 or something. But then you'll hit that first minute at a higher stroke rate and probably around about 2k minus 5 pace. And then you're going to need the next 2 minutes to kind of recover from that. So then slow that right down to 2k plus 30-ish, around about 18 strokes a minute, and then go into the next 1 minute again. And just see how you get on through these 10 intervals. It might be that you have to back off the sprint in order to kind of be able to get through this 30 minutes. It might be that actually if you just really soften up those 2 minutes easy rowing, that then that's going to allow you to be okay for that 1 minute sprint again. After all, this session is about those 1 minute efforts. It's not about the 2 minutes recovery. So even if you're just kind of tickling the machine, that's okay. Ordinarily, this would be a kind of session where I'd say it's 1 minute hard and then 2 minutes rest where you stop completely. But because we're spreading this across a half-hour row, this is how we're doing it that way, okay? So it'll be interesting to see. I've not done it this way for a long time, so it'll be interesting to see how I get on with this. So we can all share at the end with each other and say how we got on in terms of pace. So, right, here we go then. So we're going to start off 2 minutes, nice and gentle, and then we're going to do that 1 minute hard. I will keep you right in terms of counting you into it, so don't worry if you've just got that half hour up on screen. But of course, it's 2 minutes, 1 minute, so hopefully we can all work out what's going on. You ready? Right, let's get going then in 3, 2, 1, go. So, nice and soft to start. Gonna go 18 strokes a minute just to ease myself into it. But make sure that the pace is up at that 2k plus 20. Don't want to go too soft on this first one. Like I say, this is almost like a continuation of the warm-up to make sure that all of my gears are greased and running, ready for the first sprint. But then also, if you don't need to sprint from a stopped flywheel, sometimes it's a good idea not to. Just because of the strain that it can put on you. I mean, from a training point of view, it's really important to do some sprints from a stopped flywheel. But in today's session, you don't need to. So just to protect yourself against injury, that's why we're doing this 2 minutes first. And then we just roll straight into that sprint, which is coming up in just over 30 seconds. Remember, get the stroke rate up and push harder with your legs. I'll talk technique after the first sprint. Let's just see how we get on with this first one. Okay then, so in 3, 2, 1. You ready? Here we go. So, stroke rate up. More of a push from your legs. Remember, this is meant to be a top intensity workout. Use this as practice for your top end. Keep that rate up and keep pushing. 10 seconds to go. Whew. 2 more strokes for me. Right. Like I say, you can back right off the pace. Let yourself recover. Ooh, I've forgotten how long a minute can feel. Make sure to breathe. And even if you are backing right off the pace here, try to keep your technique relatively stable. So forward lean, arms straight, and then push with the legs, holding that forward lean and straight arms. That's how you make sure to get the power into the machine, which we're doing again in 25 seconds time. Oh, that flew by. It's 2 minutes. Okay. You ready? So in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Get the stroke rate up. And try and think about your technique. I'm already easing off my pace a bit on these sprints. This could well be because I'm quite tired after yesterday's row and then the Zwift bike ride. So I'll be interested to find out what kind of pace you're able to hold. 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. I'm just feeling quite drained for this one. If I hadn't already said 2k minus 5, I wouldn't be aiming for it. Ooh. So make sure to use these recovery intervals to recover. Keep that pace down, even if you end up 2k plus 35 or something. Just make sure to recover to be able to go hard on your next 1 minute effort, which is coming up quite surprisingly soon. 40 seconds. Remember, it's quite easy to think about pulling harder on the handle to go faster from the front of the machine, but try not to. Just hang off the handle as you push your feet into the machine. That's how your power gets in. Okay. 3, 2, 1. You ready? Here we go. Get that stroke rate up. And then push. Feel yourself hanging off the handle as your feet power into the machine, and the force flows through your straight arms and into the handle. You know, I think I'm going to have to settle for 2k pace for these. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Take your time to recover. Think about long, flowing strokes. Take twice as long to recover as you do to drive. So it's like 1 second drive, 2 seconds recover. Keeping the muscles moving is a good idea in terms of blood flow and things, but I would still much rather do the session with a full stop after each of the 1 minute efforts. You can really notice my heart rate isn't recovering anywhere near as fast as it would if I was stopping. Okay, 30 seconds to go until the next one. It's tough old spicy minutes, these ones, aren't they? Which has been, I just had a spicy chicken noodle soup. It's getting a bit uncomfortable. Right, 3, 2, 1. Here we go again. Go. Now keep looking straight forwards as you drive into the machine. A nice neutral chin will help keep your back slightly forwards as you push with your feet. If you find you're looking at the ceiling as you drive, chances are you're swinging your back too soon. Okay, 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. Just remember, I'm going to keep saying this 2-minute interval is about recovery, no heroics here. And if you need to stop, have a drink or whatever, then please do. It's more important that you're okay for these 1-minute efforts. As much as I'm joking about it, I'm quite surprised at how hard I'm finding it to hold my pace for these sprints. Certainly done this before with the dead stops and being able to hold 2k minus 5. So it just shows how these active recoveries still take enough out of you, and is exactly why in my main training programs I don't recommend doing light rowing in rest periods. Okay, next one's coming up, our 5th one in 3, 2, 1. You ready? Here we go. Get that stroke rate up. Even if you are needing to back off your pace, I want that just to be because you can't hold pace. You're not consciously thinking about slowing down, because ideally you will be going faster than 2k pace. I've just ducked under by a second. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Good job. That's us at the Bon Jovi point. Sing along with me. Whoa. We're halfway there. Whew. This is a top max intensity workout. So if you are not feeling the need for these recovery 2 minutes, then I would wager that you're not going hard enough on these 1 minute intervals. And if you're finding you can hardly hold on through these 2 minute rests, you're kind of going round about hard enough for those 1 minute intervals. I'm nudging 2K plus 40 for these recoveries now in order to have the power in me for the 1 minute intervals. They're the most important part, not these 2 minute recoveries. Okay? I'm going to keep saying that. It's important you recover, but these intervals don't push the pace. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Push this pace. Go. And if you can, continue to think about the sequencing of your stroke. Straight arms at the front and only pull at the back. Straight pull. Push, pull. Push, pull. Sometimes that's all you need to think is your feet and your arms, making sure you sequence them right. Push, pull. Push, pull. Okay, 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you are just going to simplify it by thinking push, pull, then just remember that as you push with the legs, you keep those arms straight and that forward lean as you push. It's only when your legs are halfway through the leg drive that you finally swing your body over your hips and then bend your elbows to pull in the handle. These recoveries, or the low rate stuff that we do, certainly is when you get a chance to slow down and think about that. So you push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. And that pull is still important. Squeezes a bit of power into the stroke, but also helps with your recovery into the next stroke, which I'll talk about in the next rest, I hope. Okay, next one coming up in 3, 2, 1. You ready? Let's go. Now you should see it on the screen, but I'm averaging between 30 and 32 strokes a minute for these 1 minute efforts, which is round about my 2k pace actually, or stroke rate. So it's no surprise that I'm just holding my 2k pace. So just shows how you increase the stroke rate from those 18 strokes a minute recoveries up to this sprint interval. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Back down to recover. 3 more to go. And here, get used to that pull of the arms, the tension that you create at the finish with your arms coming through. It's like a spring. So as you pull in, your body wants to bounce your arms back forwards again. Be it your muscles, ligaments, rib cage, who knows, but you use that natural rebound to get the handle away from you, and that triggers your forward lean of your back. Then when you're in a good posture, up on your sit bones, you just tilt over your hips into that forward lean. And then all you have to do is bend your knees once your hands are past them, and you will effortlessly slide to the front of the machine. So if you can think about getting those hands away and over your knees, that is how you increase your stroke rate if you're not comfortable with it. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Here we go now. So really think about that handle away and a good posture, and a lot of your stroke technique and angles will take care of itself. So it's like two opposites. At the front of the stroke, you think about holding your arms straight, and then at the back of this stroke, as you recover, you think about pushing them into that straight position, ready for the next stroke. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 2 more to go. Now it would be, if this was a different format, it would be interesting to see the individual splits for this row, to see how pace fluctuates for each of the 1 minute intervals, but also the 2 minute intervals, just to see how they work in tandem. So I'm definitely down at 2k plus 40 now to give myself enough latitude or energy, I suppose. Let's not use words that don't apply. Capacity, that's better, for the 1 minute blast. The good news is these 1 minute blasts are feeling shorter each time. The better news is we've only got 2 more to do. So make sure to hit both of these nice and hard, and certainly the last one you should hit hard. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And it's also worth thinking about your breathing, how you're taking your breaths. It may not matter whether you breathe in or out as you drive, but what matters is that you find a rhythm that complements and works with your stroke, so you're not just breathing ragged the whole time, which, to be fair, I am, because I'm talking to you. Right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, last of the 2-minute recoveries. I might say less in this final one, so that I can properly go fast on it. I do need to recognize the fact that talking to you through these is certainly playing quite a large factor in my cardio, because I'm not able to get the breath in right. So let's all finish the last one strong. Think about your technique. Remember to push with your legs, and then pull at the back. Try and keep those arms straight. If you see your elbows bending at the front of the stroke, try to think about nice straight arms. Maybe even rotate your elbows outwards slightly. That may help if you're a serial elbow bender. Right, last one coming up. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go now. Power, come on. That's better. There's my 2K minus 5. Push, push, pull. "30 seconds, come on." "20. Keep on, keeping on. Stay strong. 10 seconds. That's all that's left. 3, 2, 1. Well, I'm happy that I proved to myself at the end that I am capable of rowing that at 2K minus 5 after all the excuses and apologies through that main session. Have a quick drink. Make sure to shake yourself off. Won't wait too long until we get into the 2-minute cool down. Yeah. We're going to do this again down at that 18 strokes a minute, but as we're going to rest a minute in between the main session and the cool down. You should be okay to hit 2k plus 20 pace at the start of this. Okay, get yourself ready. We are going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. So like I say, just take your pace back up to 2k plus 20 for the first minute of this cool down. This will just help your muscles ease off after what I'm hoping was a max intensity workout for you. So anytime now, if you want to start backing off your pace, you can. I'm going to hold it for a minute and then start sliding further down the pace. Here we go, so just going to ease off. Just helps. You don't want to just slam to a finish. Well, I've said plummet to a finish before. There's never anything good that comes from plummeting. Stocks plummet. People plummet. Your heart plummets. Does it? I suppose it would. If someone broke your heart, it would plummet into the abyss, wouldn't it? Oh, I feel sad for people with heartbreak. I've only had my heart truly broken once in my life. Back when I was 17, I used to wake up, there you go, cool down done. I'd wake up in the middle of the night in tears. Ooh, but then 17, teenage love. So anyway, right, there we go. So that is today's session. By heck, that was a tough one. I certainly struggled to hold the pace that I'd prescribed, but as I say, I think a combination of the fact that I did a really nasty bike ride last night and just talking through all that stuff, I couldn't hold on. And it's kind of, this is going to happen maybe a few times through this 30 days of 30s, where Ian, if you're following me in these 30 days of 30s, you might find that the combined intensity gets on top of you a little bit, albeit, like I say, I made the mistake of doing a bike ride last night. But yeah, because I'm not taking any rest days through this, it'll be interesting to see exactly how my pace and my body reacts. I'm hoping in terms of body, what's going to happen is I'm going to get fitter and thinner. But but whether I'm going to end up kind of that overtraining syndrome of not giving myself enough recovery, that's kind of teetering on the balance. I'm trying to remember what I was saying. Was it elbow offender? Is that what I said about the elbows, about constantly bending them? Well, let's just... So, okay, if you're new to this channel, what I tend to do is towards the end, I didn't do it in the first 2 days, but at the end, I'll throw out... I did say stretch and stuff while I'm saying goodbye, didn't I? I hope I did. I throw out a hashtag for you to use in a comment at the end just to prove you made it this far through the video, because that's how... paranoid I am that people don't watch this far. No. So if you have made it this far and you want to leave a comment and you want to use the hashtag, then you can either do 30/30-3, because this is 30 days of 30s, and it's the third. If hashtags are light, you put in dashes, but you get what I mean. Or you can put in hashtag elbow offender. And that's, yeah, anyway. So there we go. It was a tough old session, but that was meant to be a tough old session. So to be honest, I did exactly what it was meant to do on the tin. And day 4 is going to be back to a slightly slower one. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw another 18 minutes for half an hour at you. That may crop up again within this 30 days of 30, but I'm not going to keep on going back to them. So it's going to be a lower rate one, but it'll hopefully be a bit more interesting for you. Okay, so that's day 3 done. Thank you so much for being part of this, whether you're doing the full 30 days with me or whether you're just stepping in and out of them. To be honest, it's as long as you're rowing your 30 minutes, that's all that matters. So remember, today is Wednesday with day 3, and on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on the ERG Race app, there's going to be a race that Fitness Matters are running for everybody, any rower. You don't have to be FM to be part of. So RowAlong and FM have kind of come together, so I'm trying to spread the word about it, try and see how many people we can get in on this race on Sunday mornings. We're probably going to do this every Sunday through all of November, so if you miss this Sunday, then don't worry about it. You can always pop back on next Sunday as well. Okay, so there we go. We are all done. I will obviously talk more about other bits in the next row. Hopefully I covered some good things today. Let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, and all that kind of stuff. And for the time being, do look after yourselves. Stay safe, be well. Bye-bye.